Hey, DIY enthusiasts. Have you ever faced the problem of a rusty soldering iron tip that just won't get hot enough to melt solder, leaving your joints messy and low quality? In this video, I'll show you how to identify the issue, what causes your soldering iron to underperform, and some simple tricks to fix it. Plus, I'll share with you how to make a brand new soldering tip yourself. Let's get started and upgrade your DIY corner today. The solder joint looks rough and uneven, with dull and grainy solder that didn't flow smoothly. You can see gaps and tiny bumps, which means the connection isn't solid or reliable. This kind of joint can cause poor electrical contact and might break easily over time. A clean solder joint should be shiny, smooth, and nicely shaped like a small volcano, showing good adhesion between the solder and the metal surfaces. Now, I'm going to remove the soldering tip. If you're tired of this worn-out soldering tip, I'm going to share with you how to make a brand new soldering iron tip from scratch. First, prepare a coil of copper wire, just like this one. Make sure it's clean and free of any insulation so it can conduct electricity well. Copper wire works well as a replacement soldering tip because copper has excellent heat conductivity. This means it heats up quickly and transfers heat efficiently to the solder, helping it melt smoothly. Plus, copper is soft and easy to shape, so you can create a custom tip that fits your needs perfectly. That's why using copper wire is a smart and affordable way to fix or upgrade your soldering iron tip. I prepared 4 equal-length pieces of copper wire, all cut to the same size for consistency. Now, let me show you how to strip the insulation off the copper wire. You can use a wire stripper or carefully use a small knife to peel away the plastic coating without damaging the wire underneath. Make sure the copper is clean and shiny before moving on. After bending and straightening these copper wires a bit, take some tape and wrap one end of them together. Once taped together, I'll attach them to a drill to twist them tightly. After twisting, you'll end up with a tightly wound bundle like this, firm and sturdy, ready to be shaped into your new soldering tip. Next, I'll remove the tape and trim off the two ends of the bundle. It actually looks pretty similar to a drill bit with that twisted shape. Now, I'm going to sharpen one end of the bundle. This will create a pointed tip that's easier to work with when soldering. You can use a file or a grinding tool to carefully shape the tip, making sure it's smooth and sharp enough to transfer heat efficiently. Remember to wear safety glasses and work slowly to avoid any accidents. I'll attach the copper bundle to the drill and use it together with an angle grinder. After grinding, the tip is now sharp and smooth, ready to deliver heat precisely where it's needed. The pointed shape makes it easier to work on small solder joints, and the smooth surface ensures better heat transfer for clean, strong connections. This new tip is a great upgrade for your soldering iron. Now, I'm going to attach it to the soldering iron. Before attaching the new tip, make sure to clean the base of the soldering iron thoroughly. Removing any dirt, old solder, or oxidation helps ensure a secure fit and better heat transfer between the tip and the iron. To clean the base, spray a little WD-40 onto the surface to loosen any rust or grime. Then, gently rub it with some fine sandpaper to remove oxidation and dirt. This will leave the surface smooth and ready for a perfect fit with your new soldering tip. After cleaning, the base of the soldering iron should look smooth and free of any rust, dirt, or old solder residue. You'll notice the metal surface shines a bit more, which means it's ready for the new tip to make full contact. This clean surface ensures better heat transfer and a tighter fit, so your soldering will be much more efficient and reliable. Now, I'm going to attach the copper bundle to the soldering iron. Make sure it fits snugly onto the heating element. The twisted copper wires wrap tightly around the base, creating a solid connection. This ensures efficient heat transfer from the iron to the tip. The flexible copper bundle also allows for easy adjustments if needed. Next, to make the soldering process more efficient, I'm going to create another tool to help clean the soldering tip while working. Cut it in half and take the bottom part. Make sure to clean the inside thoroughly. Next, I'll prepare a small piece of sponge, preferably one that's dense and won't fall apart easily during use. I separate the rough part from the sponge. I carefully separate the rough side of the sponge from the softer part. The rough side is perfect for scrubbing and cleaning, while the soft side is better for gentle wiping. I stuff the sponge inside the bottom part of the can. Then, spray a small amount of water onto the sponge to keep it damp but not soaking wet. Keeping the sponge slightly moist helps to clean the soldering tip efficiently while you work, removing excess solder and oxidation. Just be careful not to use too much water, as you don't want it dripping or causing any electrical issues during soldering. Alright, now that everything's ready, let's jump into soldering and see how well our new tip performs. Grab your soldering iron and let's get to work. First, heat up the soldering iron to the right temperature. It has changed color and no longer has that bright yellow-orange copper look. When the soldering iron heats up properly, the solder melts smoothly and flows easily onto the joint. You'll see the shiny silver solder liquefying and spreading evenly, creating a clean and strong connection. A well-heated tip makes the solder flow quickly without burning or bubbling. Now, I'm going to solder these two wires together. As I heat the wires with a soldering iron, I apply solder to the joint. You can see the solder melting and flowing smoothly around the wires, creating a shiny, solid connection. It's important to keep the tip steady and work quickly. During soldering, it's important to keep your soldering tip clean for the best heat transfer. Just press the hot tip gently against the damp sponge inside the can, and you'll see the excess solder and oxidation wipe away easily. This homemade cleaning tool helps maintain a shiny tip, making your soldering smoother and more efficient. After soldering the two wires together, the joint feels solid and secure. You won't see any loose strands or gaps. The solder has bonded everything tightly, creating a strong electrical and mechanical connection. This tightness ensures that the wires won't easily come apart, even with some movement or pulling. This not only insulates the connection, but also adds extra mechanical strength. Keeping your soldered wires safe and durable over time. I have a phone stand, and it has a crack like this. Now, I'm going to use a soldering iron to melt the plastic around the crack. To fix the crack, carefully heat the soldering iron tip and gently press it against the cracked plastic. The heat will slowly melt the plastic edges, allowing them to fuse back together. Move the tip steadily along the crack, being careful not to overheat or burn the plastic. This method helps seal the crack and strengthens the damaged area without needing extra glue or parts. I'll use some small push pins to hold the two cracked parts together. After securing the cracked parts with the push pins, the pieces hold together firmly and won't move around while the plastic cools and sets. This helps ensure a strong bond and keeps the repair neat and stable. Once fully cooled, you can remove the pins or leave them in place for extra support. And that's how you can easily repair a cracked phone stand using just a soldering iron, some copper wire, and a few push pins. This simple DIY method saves you money and gives new life to your broken gear. If you found this video helpful, we're going to recycle an old glow plug and turn it into a simple yet effective 12V mini soldering iron, perfect for spot welding or working with light metals. No need to spend much money, just a few items lying around the house, and you can make it yourself. Let's get started. First, I'll remove its terminal cap. Secure it firmly so it doesn't move, then use a pair of pliers to twist and loosen the terminal cap until it comes off completely. Next, I need to drill out the inside so that later I can insert the soldering tip into it. You can find spark plugs at auto repair shops, car or motorcycle scrapyards, or even in old engines you no longer use. This is a steel bearing. Its hole fits perfectly with this spark plug. I'll secure it in place using hot glue, making sure it's firmly attached so it won't move during use. You can find this type of bearing at hardware stores, machinery repair shops, or salvage it from old tools, motors, or mechanical equipment you no longer use. Next, I have something very special, a magnet, which we'll use later to help hold small metal parts in place while working. Now, it's time to move on to the wiring, the heart of this DIY mini welder. I'll be using two flexible wires, one for positive and one for negative. First, I'll strip the ends of each wire. You can adjust the temperature yourself by changing the wiring or adding a resistor. It's super flexible for small welding tasks. Since this is a mini soldering iron, thick electrical wires aren't necessary. I'll use this type of wire, and it will work just fine. The key is to secure the connections and properly insulate the contact points to prevent electrical leakage. This setup will allow electric current to flow through the tip, just like in a real soldering iron. Insert the electrical wire through the hole in the spark plug. Take a solid piece of wood and shape it into a comfortable handle. This will not only provide insulation from the heat, but also make the soldering iron easier to grip and control. During use, drill a hole in the wooden handle so you can attach the soldering tip assembly securely, ensuring it fits snugly and stays firmly in place during operation. Now, attach the soldering tip assembly to the handle by inserting it into the drilled hole. Secure it in place with super glue, making sure the joint is strong and won't loosen during use. This will give the tool both stability and a solid, comfortable grip. Wrap electrical tape around the wire and the handle to hold them together securely, making sure the wire doesn't move or get pulled out during use. Cover the area evenly for a neat finish and provide extra insulation, which will also improve safety when operating the soldering iron. I've got quite a few old batteries lying around, perfect for experimenting with this mini welding setup. Instead of throwing away, I'm going to repurpose the inner core of the battery and turn it into a soldering tip, a clever way to give new life to old materials. Please watch the video until the end and let me know which method you like most. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll carefully extract the inner core from one of these old batteries. This core is usually made from conductive metal. Its size makes it perfect for precise soldering tasks. When doing this, it's important to be cautious, avoid touching any leaky material, and always work in a well-ventilated area. Once the casing is removed, I'll trim and shape the core. It's a great way to recycle and repurpose parts that would otherwise go to waste. Next, I'll grind the battery core to shape it into a fine soldering tip. This will help it heat up evenly and work more precisely. Now that it's been ground to the right shape, the core fits snugly into the spark plug. And just like that, we've turned it into a working soldering tip. To complete the wiring, I'll attach an alligator clip to the other end. It makes the connection quick, secure, and easy to attach when needed. That way, it's easy to connect and disconnect from both the power source and the device. The alligator clips act as flexible terminals. They grip tightly onto wires, battery terminals, or metal parts, making it easy to test and adjust connections during prototyping. Plus, they save time by eliminating the need for permanent joints. I'll add another wire to connect from a negative terminal. This will complete the circuit and allow current to flow properly through the soldering tip. For this wire, I'll attach alligator clips to both ends. For the power source, I'll be using a standard motorcycle battery. It's a 12V lead-acid battery, powerful enough to heat up the soldering tip and stable for small electronics work. This type of battery is easy to find, rechargeable, and delivers consistent current, which makes it perfect for our DIY soldering project. Here, I have a broken phone holder, and I'm going to use this homemade soldering iron to fix it. Now it's time to put our DIY soldering tool to the test. I'll begin by trying to solder onto this razor blade, which is thin and metallic, making it a good challenge of tool. As I bring the soldering tip to the joint, the solder begins to melt and flow smoothly onto the razor blade and the strip wire. The tin spreads evenly, bonding the wire to the metal surface in a single, shiny solder joint. After just a few seconds, it cools and solidifies. After soldering the two razor blades together, the joint feels surprisingly strong. Even when applying pressure or flexing slightly, the blades stay firmly connected without any signs of separation. The solder has bonded well to the thin metal surfaces, creating a solid bridge between them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for my channel. I'll heat the plastic until it starts to melt, then carefully press the two broken pieces together so the softened plastic fuses and bonds them into a single, solid part again. The phone holder, after being repaired, is now sturdy and fully functional again. The broken joint has been neatly fused back together. And finally, I'll use a paper clip to hold it in place while it cools and hardens. You can clearly see the effect of the magnet. It can hold the paper clip pieces securely without worrying about them falling off. And the movement of the adjustable parts remains smooth. Overall, it feels solid in the hand and is ready to serve its purpose just like when it was new, maybe even stronger than before. And that's it. From an old spark plug and a few simple materials lying around the house, we built a compact 12V mini soldering iron, and even put to the test by repairing a broken phone holder. It's proof that with a bit of creativity and some DIY spirit, you can turn scrap into useful tools while saving money and having fun in the process. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my upcoming DIY ideas. And if you try making this soldering iron yourself, share your results in the comments. I'd love to see what you create.